All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're peeling back the layers on an operating system you've definitely heard of, but maybe don't truly know, Linux. And look, it's way more than just some alternative to Windows or Mac. It's a whole different philosophy about how software should even work.
So, this diagram, yeah, it probably looks pretty familiar, right? This is the basic setup for pretty much any computer out there. You've got you using your apps, which run on an operating system, like Windows or Mac OS. And that OS is what tells the actual hardware what to do. Super straightforward.
But what if you wanted more control? I mean, really wanted more control. This is the big question that kind of cracks everything open. What if you didn't want to just be a user of the system someone else built? What if you wanted to get under the hood, tinker with it, change it, and see exactly how it all works? That one question leads us down a completely different path.
So to really get this, we've got to look beyond the big two, Windows and Mac. Let's dive into the core idea, the philosophy that makes Linux so incredibly different from the systems you're probably using every day.
Okay, so the entire Linux universe is built on this one super powerful idea, FOSS. That stands for Free and Open Source Software. Now think about it. With most software, the code, the actual blueprints, it's a lockdown secret. But with FOSS, it's the exact opposite. The blueprints are wide open for anyone to see, to learn from, to change, and even to share. And that one difference in philosophy? Oh, it changes everything. So let's break down what that philosophical difference actually means for you. You can see it right here. On one side, you've got Windows and Mac OS. They are proprietary, commercial. You pay for them, and what the manufacturer gives you is pretty much what you get. But then you look at Linux. It's FOSS, so it's almost always free. The customization, it's off the charts. And this even trickles down to security. I mean, when you have a global community of experts all able to look at the code, bugs and vulnerabilities get spotted and fixed way faster. It just makes it a much harder target for malware. Okay, so how does this whole open source idea actually shape the guts of the system? Let's get a little technical here. Don't worry, it's cool. And pop the hood to see what really makes this thing tick. I want you to think of a Linux system like an onion. Seriously. Right at the very center, you have the physical hardware. And then, wrapped around it, are these different layers of software, and each one has a very specific job to do. So let's start peeling this onion back, starting from the very core. Okay, deep in the heart of that onion, sitting right on top of the hardware, is the kernel. This is the absolute core. In fact, fun little tidbit, when people say Linux, a lot of the time what they're really talking about is the Linux kernel. It's the master translator, the bridge that manages all the communication between the software you use and the physical computer in front of you. And this kernel, it's basically the ultimate multitasker, the master delegator. It's constantly juggling your computer's memory, deciding which programs get to run and when. It's managing all your devices, your keyboard, your mouse, your printer, and it's handling security at the deepest level. Its whole job is to make sure every single piece of hardware and software plays nicely together without crashing the party.
Right, so if the kernel is the engine, how do you actually drive the car? Well, that's where the shell comes into play. The shell is your dashboard, your steering wheel. It's a program that takes your commands, what you type in, and translates them into instructions that the kernel can actually understand and carry out. It's how you talk to the very heart of the machine. And this whole setup, this brilliant layered architecture, is what unlocks the single most powerful, most defining feature of the entire Linux world, and that is incredible, unbelievable choice.
600. Over 600. So what is that? Well, that's roughly the number of active Linux distributions out there right now. A distro, as they're called, is basically a full operating system package. It takes that core Linux kernel and bundles it with a whole collection of software and tools. And why are there so many? Because that FOSS philosophy means literally anyone can decide to build their own.
Think about it like this. The Linux kernel is this amazing high-performance engine. A distribution, like Ubuntu or Mint or Fedora, well, they're like different models of cars all built around that same engine. Ubuntu might be like a reliable, easy-to-drive family sedan. Fedora could be a cutting-edge sports car with all the latest tech. And Mint, maybe it's a classic, comfortable car that's just a joy to use. They all share that same powerful core, but they're each tailored for a different kind of driver, a different kind of experience.
And get this, the choice doesn't even stop there. Not even close. Remember the shell, the program you use to talk to the kernel? Yeah, you can choose that too. You can literally pick and choose the exact tool you use to communicate with the core of your own computer, tailoring it perfectly to how you work. First up is Bash. You can think of Bash as the reliable old pickup truck. It's the industry standard, it's the default on most Linux systems, and for good reason. It is powerful, it is rock solid, and it has been the go-to workhorse for developers and sysadmins for, well, for decades.
But what if you want something with a little more flair, a little more power? Well, then you might want to check out Z-Shell, or ZSH. This one is a huge favorite with developers because it's insanely customizable. We're talking themes, smarter auto-completion, powerful plugins that can totally transform your workflow. It's so good, in fact, that even Apple took notice and made it the default shell on all new Mac.
Okay, but what if all this sounds, a little intimidating? What if you're just starting out? Well, there's absolutely a shell for you too. It's called Fish, the friendly interactive shell, and it's designed from the ground up to just be helpful. It gives you these awesome auto-suggestions as you type, and it even highlights your text in different colors to let you know if you've made a typo. It's like having a friendly co-pilot.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. We've talked about philosophy, we've talked about the architecture, and this incredible world of choice. So what's the bottom line? Why does any of this actually matter? See, the Linux advantage is this powerful combination of things. It's free to use, free to change, free to share. It's open source, which means it has this amazing, passionate global community behind it. It is incredibly flexible and customizable, and it's legendary for its security and stability. You're not just getting an OS, you're getting freedom, performance, and a worldwide community all in one package.
So ultimately, it all comes down to this question. If your operating system is like your home, do you want to rent, or do you want the blueprints to build your own? Using a proprietary OS is kind of like renting a beautiful, fully furnished apartment. It's easy, it works, but you can't exactly knock down a wall or repaint the kitchen. Linux hands you the blueprints and the plot of land. You can build a skyscraper, a cozy cabin in the woods, or something nobody has even dreamed of yet. The choice, the real power, to be a passive user or an active creator of your own digital world, well, that's entirely up to you.